Well, we've caught up with McLaren and Force India, but now it's one of the main contenders, Brendon Leigh, winner of the F1 2017 Esports, and coming back here to try and regain his crown, supported by Mercedes. I caught up with him, see what he had to say. Also a little race against him, which I'm going to talk a bit more about at the end of the video. But let's see what Brendon had to say first, see what he felt his chances were for the upcoming championship. Okay viewers, so now I'm joined by the F1 Esports World Champion 2017, Brendon Leigh from Mercedes. So, Brendon, what a year it's been. Tell me first about what it was like competing in the 2017 rounds in terms of how you developed as a driver last year, working up to the final.
Well, developing as a driver for last year was quite intense, because you go from just playing in your bedroom to suddenly being on the world stage for the semi-final here in London, then the final in Abu Dhabi. So it really helped to elevate my game, and I'm somebody who I like to think that I perform well under pressure and grow my own abilities under pressure. And then, well, it really helped me to really push myself to a new boundary and a new limit.
Now, you obviously Abu Dhabi for the final. I mean, as a Formula One fan yourself, that must have been an incredible experience. How did it feel at the time, just to travel there?
Well, just to travel there was quite an experience already, because I'd never been out of the country before that event. So, but going to the Formula One paddock is like a childhood dream, isn't it? Because you sort of watch the program on TV and you sort of see so much what goes on behind the scenes, the drivers, the team personnel, everything that goes on, and you think, wow, what an amazing opportunity to be part of it. And to be part of it in Abu Dhabi was just sensational. It's
amazing. It's an amazing place to be. I feel there's always a special atmosphere in the paddock. It's always a special safe place. It's very strange. It's hard to explain to anyone who hasn't been there. You've got onto the racing. What did it feel like in terms of the pressure? I mean, have you had any esport pressure like that before in a room with your competitors? What was it like?
The pressure last year was just on another level. I personally didn't experience anything before then. I don't know if I'll experience anything like that again. And then it was weird, because you, like I said earlier, you don't practice that in your bedroom. You don't practice being on an unfamiliar rig. You don't practice people filming you. So it's so different to suddenly have a camera filming you while driving, and it takes you so far out of your comfort zone. But for me, that really helped me learn and grow my talent.
Taking yourself forward. So you won the F1 Esports. Tell me how your life has changed since then.
Well, since winning the Esports last year, I've lost over 20 kg in weight for my trainer Simon Fitchett, and working with Mercedes just to grow myself mentally, physically, and become the most complete driver I can possibly be.
I can see, well, obviously you're in great shape, and it's helped with, like you say, I mean, being an F1 Esports champion isn't just about being a good driver. It's about being a team player. It's about being good on camera. It's delivering that sort of sponsor, for your sponsors as well. You're displaying. What's been the toughest element over the past year, the transformation for you? What would you say has been the most challenging?
I think the most tough part of the development program from last year till now is maybe the sort of stale period between the final last year and F1 2018 coming out, because you have to keep motivated. You have to keep on finding new tricks in yourself to push yourself to a new boundary. So it was quite weird, because you know a lot about the game, but you don't know everything about the game. You don't know everything about yourself. So you have to keep on questioning yourself about, can I go an extra thousandth quicker? Can I find something else within myself to go faster or be a more complete driver? So I think that was the toughest part of it all.
Moving from F1 2017 to 2018, have you noticed any subtle changes in the handling that have altered the way you approach to a race?
I think Codemasters have done a really good job with the new game that's come out. The tyre model has improved amazingly. The Pirellis in real life are rumoured to be really sensitive, same as the game. You have to be super gentle with the tyre, especially in the qualifying. You have to get to the perfect temperature to build up the lap, and in the race you have to get them to the perfect temperature and keep them in that temperature. If you step over the boundary, you have to take the punishment of getting back there. Maybe you lose 1-2 seconds doing that. So you have to really focus mentally on not going as quick as you can, but being as consistent as you can to get that end time down at the end of the race.
That's going to be really interesting then. So I guess, like you say, pressure on all the drivers, and unknown is how they're going to perform under pressure with the tyres, because it's much easier at home, isn't it, I guess, rather than when you've got all those people watching, and you're trying to sort of figure out how the tyres are working. Looking forward to F1 Esports then. We're back, it all begins again. What are your thoughts for the F1 Esports, for the days ahead?
I think my thoughts for the days ahead, especially Wednesdays, the day we race, I think it's just to do the best you can, really, because I know what I can do, I know the times I do in practice, and I'm confident that if I do repeat the times I do in practice, I'll be able to put in good results for myself and the team. So it's just really crucial just to keep calm, keep relaxed, and keep on pushing yourself to a new boundary.
Brilliant. Well, Brendon, I tell you what, it's been an incredible year. The adventure was amazing last year. You've obviously worked on yourself, got in shape. You've no doubt developed yourself as a driver even more. My goodness, it's going to be fearsome, and Mercedes clearly have a great driver in their pocket. Well, listen, just best of luck for the event, and we'll see how you get on.
Thank you very much.
So it's great to catch up with Brendon. I think it's fair to say that he's got himself in trim. He's in great shape, but physically and mentally, he's a competitor now. You can see he's really worked on himself in every way, from even a PR perspective to his racing talent. I mean, obviously he's got obvious talent and skill there, and he's combining that and working with it. This was recorded obviously before the first event, and we've seen in the first couple of events his work rate and detail in qualifying, detail in the race, detailing, altering things on the car to maximise his performance and give him the edge in terms of performance when he needs it. It really has been a joy to watch in terms of his obvious skill. Obviously, I had a little race against him. I hadn't been playing F1 for some time, but it was still great for me to just have a very little race. He just beat me, only by a little bit. No, actually by a mile. He was down the road, but I know what it takes to race at this level, and you really need to just do thousands of laps. You need to really understand how to maximize each corner, and by finding a limit, you find a new limit, and suddenly you realize you're actually going quite slowly, even though you felt like you were on the limit in the first place. But it was great to have a chat with him then. We wish him well in the championships, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on in the final. Certainly it's all to play for. He's got a massive lead. To take something crazy to go wrong at this stage for anyone else to come back into it, but I look forward to seeing how it gets on and perhaps catching up with him after the final. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon.